But first, to a stunning result at Old Trafford. Manchester United demolished Southampton 9-0 to equal the record for the biggest win in Premier League history. Incredibly, it's the second season in a row that Southampton have been beaten 9-0 after losing to Leicester by the same scoreline last season. Things began to go wrong for Southampton. Early on, 19-year-old Alex Jankovic was sent off just 2 minutes into his full debut for a reckless high tackle on Scott McTominay. Well, Manchester United then produced an utterly ruthless display, and they were 4-0 up by half-time through Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a Jan Bednarek own goal, Marcus Rashford and Edison Cavani. United added 5 more after the break, 2 from Anthony Martial, 1 each from McTominay, Bruno Fernandes and Dan James. Bruno's goal came from the penalty spot after Mike Dean checked the VAR monitor and sent Bednarek off for good measure. So 9-0 to United, just 1 goal short of matching their club record 10-0 victory against Anderlecht from 1956.
Well, I thought they played the game properly, which we had to, because sometimes when you play against 10 men, they sit behind the ball, make it hard for you, defend well, and they can break on you. I thought we played the game properly, so we switched it from side to side, threatening behind them, some good individual movements and performances. So we played it the way we had to. No, we've not discussed it being a record, but of course it's always going to be talk about it. But for me, it was about playing the game properly, having the focus, do the right things, get your habits right. Because if you come, say for example, into the second half with sloppy habits or lack of focus, you might get injured, you might get hurt, and you might get punished, like we almost did with their goal that was offside. But no, we played it really well.
James Cooper.
Ole, yesterday you said that you thought the players were sometimes too nice. How reassuring was it to see them really go for that? Because they could have stood off, they could have said, look, it's 4, it's 5, let's leave it at that. But they were ruthless. Yeah,
they were, and it came from them. They drove it on. The players out there, Harry, Victor, David, the ones at the back, played the ball quickly. Scott played the ball quickly, so we got on into their half and last third, and then they won it more and more and more. So, when you play football, you just have to make the most of it. It might be the last game you play, and you never know. So, and they played like it was going to be, or it could have been the last game. So, very pleased with everyone.
Well, Ralph Hasenhüttl is the first manager in Premier League history to lose a match 9-0, and this was his reaction to the result.
Yes, we lost again in a horrible way. Yes, and again, same story, 1 man down after, this time it was 3 minutes or 2 or 1, I don't know. And then 90 minutes can be long in the Premier League, yes. Couldn't help them from outside, the guys had no alternatives, had no chance to react. No players on the bench, no alternatives in the defense to defend better, and yeah. Then you're a little bit helpless, but yeah. In the end, it's a little bit a different situation to the first time because we played a good season so far and we are in a position at the table where we haven't been for a long time and nothing seemed that we have such an evening here. But you see how quick it can go in the Premier League. And yeah, this is the disappointing thing, I think.
It was almost an evening where nothing went right. What was the only thing that you couldn't complain about, that first red card?
What can I complain? I mean, a young lad who played the first time in the Premier League, he knows that he made a big mistake, and therefore we pay the bill. Yeah, that's it.
Just a final one from me. Does the experience previously stand these players in good stead, and the knowledge that you know that they can react positively to these sort of circumstances?
I said I don't need this result to know what we have to do better. This time it's a completely different situation. It's not that it hurts less, the opposite. It hurts even more when you get this result again. But yeah, I mean, the team is a different one now, and that's the reason why we played a good season so far. So let's see how the season ends. It will end better than the past, I think.
Well, confirmation then of a record-equalling scoreline in the Premier League, and Manchester United or Southampton have been involved in all 3 games. As we mentioned last season, Leicester beat Southampton 9-0. That result was arguably worse as Southampton were at home. Before that, you have to go back to 1995 when Manchester United thrashed Ipswich 9-0. Andy Cole with 5 goals that day.